Hey, what's up, guys? This is MetalheadKev with some nerd metal. This is going to be a collection tour as of early October 2025. This is also my first attempt at trying to make a video like this, and editing and splicing and all that. So, bear with me. We'll see how all that goes. We'll also go a bit more in depth on each of these figures as we go. Try to have a little discussion as fellow collectors with each other. So in my first case over here is mostly a Star Wars case, as you can see. Got the prequels. That's a bit jammed, but space is a problem for everyone. Slowly building out that original trilogy collection. Then we got some movie masterpieces here, some one-offs. And then kind of some stragglers of Star Wars that doesn't really fit in with my timelines or other displays too well. Alright, I'm going to do my best to try to keep this in chronological order here. So, first off, let's go over this Darth Maul. This is the 2.0 that I've recently released. And when it comes to 2.0s, this was justified. This thing, the likeness to Ray Park is phenomenal. Next to Darth Maul, we have Mace Windu. The likeness to Samuel L. Jackson on this one is definitely a bit questionable, but collectors were asking for Mace Windu for years. Hot Toys finally decided to give it to us. Leaves a little bit to be desired, but overall, I'm glad to have it in my collection. After Mace, we have Episode 2, Anakin Skywalker. And they didn't release an Anakin forever, and then we've been kind of bombarded by them recently with the Artisan, the Sith Apprentice Artisan, and then the Riz Anakin from Ahsoka, and then also this one released not that long ago. And in my opinion, regardless of all the Artisans and all the this is the best likeness to Hayden. I think Episode 2 is still the best likeness to Hayden. I mean, that skin tone and texture and the eyes. The brow. The way he just looks angry. That is really just an amazing sculpt. Moving right from Anakin to Padme. A lot of people criticized this sculpt when it came out. They were comparing it to Millie Bobby Brown and other actresses, but it's not perfect. But I definitely see Natalie Portman in this. Again, another figure that collectors were asking for years, and the Hot Toys finally decided to give us. Another worthy addition to any prequels collection. Technically, this is an Episode 2 figure, I believe. I don't think it was titled Clone Wars. I think it was Attack of the Clones. But we just got a shiny clone trooper here. Again, the details and weathering on these things are just phenomenal. Kind of a plain figure, so the weathering and the details make all the difference. And look at that. Look at that trio. That Clone Wars trio just makes me happy. I guess moving on from episode 2, we'll start moving into the Clone Wars. And here we have Ahsoka. This one is still available on Sideshow, I'm pretty sure. Again, another figure people asked for a long time. And then it just kind of sat. Although we do have 2 show Ahsoka options now. In my opinion, the Clone Wars Ahsoka is the definitive Ahsoka. Whether it be portrayal or figure. Captain Rex is another one you need for any Clone Wars display. A little bit older of a figure, doesn't have movable eyes, but the likeness to Tamora Morrison is definitely there. And again, the details are just impeccable. That sculpt still holds up. It's still great. A lot of people didn't like that he had a green tint to him, kinda. But I mean, I never really had an issue with it. It was never a deal breaker for me. There is a newer Rex available that has the Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor from the Ahsoka show. But, you ask me, this one's good. Because the new one doesn't have a head sculpt, so take that into account. But this one still, that just makes my heart happy. We got Yoda. He's a third-party Yoda. I forget which brand he was, but I mean, it definitely leaves a little to be desired. But I mean, hey, I think this thing was like $160, so I'm not mad at it. Shout out 1/6 Kit with that fast, perfect shipping. Again, I mean, it's definitely not as good as the Hot Toys release, but for $160, I mean, come on, it's good enough for me. And he sizes well enough with everyone else. We have the Clone Wars Anakin. This one's a few years old now. This was actually the first Anakin I ever got. I was so happy to have it because Anakin is my all-time favorite character. And at that time, there was, no artisans or really any other options unless you wanted to pay a lot for the old, regular Anakin or dark side Anakin. And at that time, they were going for between $500-$700, which I just didn't think they were good enough figures to warrant that kind of money at the time. I mean, the sculpt is the same on those 2 original releases, except the hair is different. But I just, that's good, but it's Hayden, but I mean, it's not Hayden. So I just never wanted to pay the money for the other Anakins. So this one was a well enough placeholder for me because everyone knew they were going to make another Anakin eventually. He's too much of a moneymaker, and now look, we got like 6 of them. The details on his armor are just, the details are what really sells the realism. It's just great. People didn't like this split. That was pretty annoying. Be aware of that in case you're looking at this one. You probably picked this one pretty cheap. And his padding was a bit much, so he kind of looks like a Fatigan. A little fat Anakin. Boots are still holding up. Pleather, everyone hates the pleather, but overall this was... Hey, I was happy to have this, and I still am. Then we have Clone Wars Obi-Wan in Clone Wars armor, obviously. This is the first Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan I had. Again, the episode 3 one is just so expensive, and I don't feel like it justifies the money. And we're going to get a new one. It's already been teased with new Anakins. And this one, I mean, come on, dude. This might not be a 10 out of 10. But that skin texture and detail and those paint apps, that's really, really good. I mean, I see you. And alright, I told y'all this was my first time because I just stopped recording out of nowhere. So I think we were talking about Obi-Wan. So let's get another look at Obi. Alright, yeah. We got some... I think that's the last... Oh, no, duh. Alright. I know this is technically from the Boba Fett show, but in my headcanon, I got Cad Bane in with the Clone Wars because that's where he belongs. He was okay in the Boba show, but I mean, that show just was not great. Overall, Disney is not really done too well with Star Wars. Haven't been a giant fan, but too big of a fan to ever stop collecting figures from Star Wars because I don't know what I like better. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's, come on. How can you pick? Like, I think I lean Lord of the Rings, but Azimuth is not on the level of Hot Toys, and they're just, since before Inart, you didn't have the quality out there, so that's a whole nother discussion. Alright. This is the secondary head sculpt from that Darth Maul 2-pack. I have it on the Clone Wars body. This is, come on, man. This is something that a lot of people have done just because the Clone Wars Maul was kind of, dude, Hot Toys mailed it in on that one for sure, so a lot of people were kind of upset about it. The body was all scrawny, so like you were supposed to be able to have them like shirtless and this and that, and I'm pretty sure it was just like a Wolverine body, but it was way too scrawny. It didn't work. The head sculpt was the same as the Solo one, I'm pretty sure. So this just spices this figure up a little bit and makes it look a little bit better. And that angry sculpt is just awesome too. So it's hard to keep that in the box. So this definitely brings a little life to the Clone Wars Maul, and yeah, makes that figure a little bit more worth having, because I was definitely debating selling that, but when you throw this head on them, it's not too bad. Alright, now I think the Clone Wars figures are done, so let's move on to this absolute masterpiece. What an absolute shit show it was in the queue for this, wasn't it? I know everyone felt the same. Halfway through, they decided to change the rules and add another little link that, I don't know, my eagle eye did not see that link, so I never clicked on it. And then by the time I left the queue, and the bad part is that I probably would have got this figure the first try, but like I said, they changed the rules halfway through, and I was unaware of that. So I never clicked the link, blah, blah, blah. And then I ended up getting in. And when I did, it was a waitlist. And then when I tried waitlisting it, I got a 404 page not found error message. So they really it kicked me in the balls twice that day. But, hey man, them waitlists, they do convert. I was happy to get this guy at retail because I probably would have paid up for him. And this was before we got that new Anakin release with the sculpted hair, because everyone was like, oh, they're going to make one? We don't know. Of course they were, but, you know. And the sculpt is different. The sculpt is Japanican, but painted in a normal complexion. And I don't know if I necessarily like that. So, I am beyond thrilled to have this in my collection. It obviously was a letdown from the prototype. That prototype was absolute perfection. But, I mean, this thing is really good. I don't know if I like the Sith Apprentice sculpt better or this sculpt. I flip-flop back and forth between the two, which, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have both, so I have the option to do that. But they're both just stunning pieces. I mean, I don't care. This is the best Hayden on the market as of now, in my opinion. We'll see what the Mustafar version looks like, and we'll see how his hair goes, and hopefully he doesn't have any issues like some of the Jokers had with their locks falling out. So, fingers crossed. But I love this piece. I think it's just a gorgeous addition to any collection. And I guess some of the proportions are better, but and the tailoring, but of course, Hot Toys being Hot Toys, it's pleather tabards, pleather boots, all that. So Topo had a set that you could get through 1/6 kit that was actually all leather materials or whatever. The boots aren't there, but the tabards and all that. So I think it came with Dark Side Eyes as well. So I mean, that hasn't released yet. At least I haven't gotten an email from Kit, but when it does, I got 2 sets, but one's supposed to be a gift. But I'll update one of my Anakins and give one of them leather tabards because I think it's sold out now. And let's just take a gander at this while we're here. Everyone's familiar with this. This light is kind of killing it. This is the broken helmet Vader from the Obi-Wan show. This light is kind of blowing it out. I'm sorry, but this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It's just wild, the detail in this. And that, like, 15 seconds. That 15 seconds or so where he goes, Anakin's gone. That was so good. But sadly, it was wrapped in, terrible rest of the show. But that's like a 10-second moment is one of my all-time favorite scenes in Star Wars. Hayden and Ewan, dude, they play it so well. It's so good. This came with that Trooper. You get the Phase 1 helmet as well. All the other parts are white, so I mean, that's an easy swap. I think that came with Rex. That's from, the later season of Clone Wars where they paint their helmets for Ahsoka. And then this is from the new Battle Damage Vader. I kind of just got him chilling over here because I have the broken helmet on him. But, dude, this thing is gnarly, dude. Look at it. Look at the wounds, man. Like, that detail, skin texture, the paint, the inside of the helmet. Like, dude, this is Hot Toys reminding people, like, yeah, Inart's on the market. They're doing really well, but we're the only one with Star Wars license, so if that's what you want. But look at this. Look at this. This is just Hot Toys reminding us how good they are. I mean, dude, that head wound still looks fresh. Look at the vein work. Like, those paint applications are just... I don't know how they do this, man. This is just beyond... It takes my... I have no words at how gnarly and good that is. Alright, we got the Emperor from Episode 3 and the scene he was fighting Yoda. This thing is just, dude, he looks so evil. Like, I know they put that other Emperor up for pre-order, that other Palpatine with the 2 head sculpts as a Clone Wars sculpt, and then another gnarly one where he's all sithed out and damaged. But that maniacal smile and the way those eyes just pierce into you, it's just wow. And the paintwork is pretty similar to that Vader head that I was just showing you, with like the underlying vein work and everything. It's just, I just don't know how they do it. The hood on this one isn't as much of a pain in the ass as the other ones. The hood wasn't that terrible to work with. It's a cool little clasp. I mean, the outfit is definitely pretty plain. I mean, it's just pretty much robes and feet. Let's take a look at this thing. I absolutely love this figure. I'm very happy to have it. And I paid up for it. So I got my Japanican. And I paid a bunch of money. And now they're going to tease a Mustafar edition. We'll see what that sculpt looks like. But I do not care, dude. Like I said in the beginning, Anakin is my all-time favorite character. And even though this is technically an Ahsoka sculpt, I mean, they're using it for the episode 3 Anakin. So, I mean, hey, whatever. He might look a tad older, but I mean, it's still, I don't really see it. I just see what he looked like. I see Hayden. I can't tell if he's an old Hayden or whatever. He looks fine enough for me, age-wise. I mean, maybe it's not as fair as that one, but whatever. I needed my dark side Anakin. I know it's technically Darth Vader, but you all know what I mean. And I have some OT customized in there, some OD customs. And they are gorgeous. The way they just... there's... The eyes that they gave with this one were pretty disappointing, but I think they were probably accurate to Ahsoka. They just weren't accurate to episode 3. But I am extremely grateful to have this. Like I said, I had to pay up for it, but I wasn't too angry. I mean, if you want it, sometimes you gotta pay up for it. It is what it is. This, still a limited piece. I'm really not, like, I don't care. I wanted this. And I have it. So it is what it is. Alright. Moving down to what I have of the OT. I guess I said chronological order, so this is the Empire Luke. I don't have any New Hope figures, I don't think. No, that's Empire. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best Luke you can get. The likeness isn't perfect. It looks... I think it might be the same sculpt as the Mando Luke. Different hairpiece, obviously. This came with a magnet hairpiece. There's another one. But this thing is, I think, the best Luke you can get. The Mando Luke is really good, but you can't mess with Empire. Simple outfit. Again, pleather belt, all that. That's annoying. Those boots are suspect. I never really had an issue with any flaking or pleather breaking or cracking on me, but I think if I move his feet, I think if I move his ankles, those might crack. So if you have this guy and you haven't posed him in a while, you might want to check them ankles and, I don't know, maybe treat them or something. I've never put anything on my figures. I've looked into it, but I'm just scared to like stain them or something. So, fuck it. We're doing it live. This is the newer Han Solo that I released not that long ago. A bunch of people were freaking out about the frown lines, the expression, even the hair. And believe me, I kind of get it. Like, I do kind of get it. I was like, dude, come on. Like, that face? Like, what is that? But you get him in the right pose. It's not too bad. And, like, I mean, it's extremely... there's no question that's Harrison Ford. I mean, there's no getting around that. Like, they probably could have done a different face. You know, different expression. People might have been a bit happier, but... I didn't have a Han. And a lot of these figures got released so long ago that if you missed out on them, you were going to have to really pay up for them. And unless... we spoke about that a few times. I said earlier, those Anakins, I didn't think they were good enough to pay for. And then I did pay up for Sith Apprentice. So it all depends on the figure. Now, and how much you like them, of course. Now, the old Harrison Fords are still pretty good. Like, some people will still prefer those over this. But I just couldn't, I didn't think it was good enough to pay crazy money for. So I was happy to hold out and get this Han winner released. And this is a good enough representation in my display for now. And, you know, if they release another one, we'll see what happens. And I can't wait till I get that Chewie. Lando. Another figure everyone wanted for so long. And then I think it's still sitting in stock, which is a shame. This kind of suffers from like that 1,000-yard stare. Like, I mean, looks like Mando is seeing things, like he's looking through you, not at you type deal. Sculpt isn't, you know, it's not a 10, but it's definitely not bad. I mean, you can definitely tell who that is. There's no mistaking that. Paint apps are decent for the time. It's a little bit of an older figure. I mean, it might not be the best figure in the world, but it's definitely a fair representation of Lando for your display. Alright. Moving right along, we got C-3PO. This is a beautiful figure. I mean, he's pretty dirty. A lot of people were a bit, you know, like, too dirty. Like they were saying about the Mando, but I don't think so. I think it's nice. I like the grit and the grime. I feel like that adds to it. I feel like that adds to the realism, and I'm happy those details are in there. And this is a pretty intricate figure. I think this is a definitive C-3PO. There was Bandai or something. There was a die-cast one out there that was pretty good, but it was crazy money. And I think Justin's Collectible is probably the only person I ever saw that actually got his hands on that thing. Like, I was pretty rare. It was nice, but Hot Toys saw fit to give us one, and now that's the best option you got, and it looks great. This is a Sideshow C-3PO, Return of the Jedi deluxe version or something. This is a older figure, and it's, you know, Sideshow, so it's not quite as detailed or as made as well as Hot Toys, but this is a pretty good figure. I missed my chance to get him anytime, pretty much. I could have got, I guess, I think there was Attack of the Clone ones or something, but I missed that, and I don't know. For now, this is good enough C-3PO for me. When he looks decent, might upgrade him one day. Good enough for me. This was actually my first Star Wars figure I ever got, so that holds a little bit of a special place. I went to a local comic book store and I had it in my head that I was going to buy a Hot Toy no matter what. I didn't care. And I walked out with a Sideshow figure. Because at the time, I didn't really know the difference. I didn't really know. Like, I kind of knew, but I didn't know. And, you know, the body is a bit goofy and he wants to fall over, but he's held up, dude. The pleather's held up in time. And I've had him probably, like, I don't know, going on 4 years or something now. At least 3. I don't know exactly, but the lights all still work. I never changed the batteries or nothing, and you know, it's pretty good. I'll never get rid of them. That was my first one, and yeah, I enjoy them. That was from the Mando show or something, I believe. That was like Clone or Stormtrooper Commander or something. I got him. I popped the pauldron thing off, and there you go. This figure is actually pretty underrated. I mean, the body definitely leaves something to be desired, but overall, this is a pretty badass Boba Fett. This again was one of the first early figures I got, and I mean, the body definitely is a bit goofy, some loose joints, but overall, this is a pretty sick Boba Fett. You get him in the right pose, he'll stand and he'll be okay. And he's overall, he's pretty good. The Sideshow Mythos Boba Fett is pretty badass. Got another Luke Skywalker. Oh, that's a pretty good shot. That was pretty nice. Likeness is good enough for Mark Hamill. No moving eyes. It's an older figure. It has the Jedi like robes as well. You can decide if you want that on or not. Overall, it's pretty solid figure. Good representation. I think there was a deluxe one or another one. There was another release after this that was slightly better, but this is pretty decent for me. Then we got Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. I put the that one's hands on him. Color match isn't perfect, but from a distance you can't really tell. And I feel like it looks pretty cool. This is an older figure, but it's never been remade. Still a grail for a lot of people. This was like my first, what you could, I guess, consider a grail figure. And I'm happy to have him. He's cool. A little bit older, but still holds up. Alright, let's finish some Star Wars off. This is the Sideshow Mythos Obi-Wan. When I was trying to build out my collection, I knew I needed an Obi-Wan, and this is the only one that I could get at retail at the time. And the outfit and all is pretty cool. I mean, it's, obviously follows some comics and novel like storylines where he's on Tatooine. He's not quite at old Ben age, but it's after the Clone Wars in episode 3. He's a bit grizzled. And this is a pretty cool, like, young Alec Guinness sculpt. I mean, I think they did pretty well in this, considering. Outfit is all the stuff he comes with is very intricate. He's got all kinds of stuff in his backpack. The rifles and the gaffy stick. We got Solo Maul. This figure is pretty cool. I love Darth Maul. I'm a 90s kid, dude. I remember Darth Maul being absolutely everywhere. So I love Darth Maul. I really wanted this one because of his robot legs. You can't really see it. I got them kind of hidden in my display, but the detail in those legs was it was so cool. It looked so good. It was a lot better than the Clone Wars representation, where it's just kind of looks like plastic chunks. But yeah, this is a very cool figure. I kind of have them in no man's land in my collection at the moment, but one day I'll find a better spot for them. I'm definitely still happy to have them. This figure was kind of an impulse buy. Sculpt is pretty decent. I mean, you can definitely tell who it is. The movie wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. So, I wanted a Han. This is the only Han that I could really get that was reasonable. So, that's why we have him. Got a pretty badass Death Trooper. I just love the way these things look. It's not the specialist that comes, with the pouches on front and the little doll, which is pretty sick, but I just love this design. I wanted to have him. He's cool. Same with this Assault Tank Trooper. I just really love the way that the helmet is and the design. It was just cool. I got him pretty cheap. He's pretty sick. Mandalorian. This kind of I always loved Star Wars. I grew up with the prequels. It was always my thing. Kind of fell out of it for a little bit. And Mando Season 1 came around. And it was great, dude. Mando Season 1 was so good. Season 2, you kind of saw some flaws. It was kind of some filler in there, but overall it was that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. And then Season 3 came out, and they just didn't know what to do. It was terrible. And then they basically had Mando season 2.5 in Book of Boba Fett, and it just completely undid the end of season 2, which was like great, having Luke come back and Grogu go off and train with Luke. It just, I don't know why they had to undo. Well, I do know why. It's probably, marketing and money, but in my mind, Mando ended at season 2, and I'm very happy with that. We got another badass character no one thought was going to be made. This is Darth Revan. He's kind of hard to pose. I mean, there's not that much posability because of this big armor. Like, you're not getting any ab crunch or really twist. The hood is an absolute pain in the ass. But everything else about this figure is great. I'm so happy to have this character represented in my collection. The armor is done extremely well. Very, very detailed and painted well. The mask is so cool. Can't wait to get that Malgus and Nihilus to go on either side. Then from another video game line, we have Lord Starkiller in his Sith armor. There is no denying that armor is badass. And all of his trophy sabers. This is a phenomenal figure and much more posable than you'd think. He has a nylon suit, so you don't really have to worry about any crazy poses or creasing or damage or flaking. The armor looks awesome. Those claws. It's an awesome character. Way overpowered. But those Force Awakens games were so fun. I remember playing the hell out of them as a teenager. Here we got a mix of the Obi-Wan Vader and some parts from the new Battle Damage Vader. So this helmet is from the Battle Damage Vader, with all the detail and speckling and weathering. So pretty much I have a clean Vader with my Return of the Jedi one. And now this is like a halfway battle damaged one, because he still has the broken parts. And I swapped out the cape, so he has the ripped up cape and the broken chest box. And kind of like half battle damage. So he's got weathered helmet. The shape of it is definitely much different. I didn't realize that until I got it in hand. But the difference between the two Vader helmets, between the Obi-Wan one and this one, is just the shape is completely different. I can tell the differences between the Vaders in film, but seeing them compared directly next to each other was like, oh wow, that's much different. So that's what justifies having multiple Vaders. They do look different. And the burn up cape and all, it definitely adds, because the little slice in this cape, you couldn't even tell it was battle damage. So I feel like it adds to it a little bit with the damaged chest box. And I didn't want to have two half face Hayden showing, because the other one I have the half mask on, so I went with the full mask on this one. Alright, let's get to some movies. Here we have the Blitzway, Tyler Durden. This is an older figure. The hair, isn't really sculpted up to today's standards, but the skin texture and the sculpt, there's no denying that's Brad Pitt. This is an awesome figure. And the details still hold up. Still holds up well. Real leather on the jacket. You can see his scar on his hand, his rings. The beer says Fight Club. Yeah, this figure's awesome. We got Iconic Studios, Patrick Bateman. I love that movie. It's so good. I needed this figure to represent that in my collection. I remember the first time I saw this, I was so taken aback. I was like, oh, what is this? And it just ended up being one of my all-time favorites. The suit, the tailoring's done well, but I think everyone who has them in the raincoat with the axe. Here we have Sideshow's newest Beetlejuice. I think this sculpt is great. I think this is one of Sideshow's best figures ever. Now, when it came out, the hair was terrible. You had to style it yourself. It was just a cotton ball, basically. But if you get the hair done well, dude, this can look great. Like, that looks great. I think that looks phenomenal. That is a great sculpt. I see Keaton all the way. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. That looks great. The hands are gnarly and stained up and dead. You see his nails. He has his ring on. The tie is a bit annoying because it flares out, but you can get it. It's not too bad to work with, but it's all about the hair. If you get the hair done right on this, it can look great. And I know people went through all kinds of crazy things. You're watching tutorials and everything else. And what I did was literally I wet my fingers the tiniest bit. And then I sprayed hairspray on my fingers. And I kind of just twirled his hair and tried to make it look, like shaggy. And not like a cotton ball. I just tried to separate it pretty much. Literally, just a little bit of water. And I sprayed hairspray on my fingers. And you can tell me if it looks like trash. If you think it looks like trash, you let me know. But I think that looks pretty good. We got this Spawn back here. He's kind of forgotten. I don't really have room to display him that great. But one thing I will say, this is from Flashpoint or whatever, the third-party Spawn. The cape on this thing, alright, if you get a Spawn, one of the most important things has got to be the cape. And they did great with that. I will say that much. The cape, you can't see it. I mean, you kind of see it back there. But the cape on this came out great. And if you're doing Spawn, you need to nail the cape. And they definitely did. The body they used was sick. I mean, he should have had the green eyes, which, whatever. But overall, I mean, this came out really good. Alien Warrior. Look at that thing in all its glory. That is so badass. I love the Alien franchise. And this, I mean, it's damn near a statue. You can't do much with them. But if you nail the pose, that thing looks great. And there's no mistaking a Xenomorph. I know they got Big Chap on pre-order now. That 2.0 is coming. So excited for that. Then you got the Romulus Xenomorph. Already have that pre-ordered. That'll release much sooner than Big Chap. I'm just excited to have more Xenomorphs in my life. These, the detailing and the paintwork and everything on this is just some of Hot Toys' very best. That's just so good. Detailing on the tail. The tail is posable. I mean, it's a rubber suit, so there's not much articulation there. But you get enough that you can get a creepy pose. And if you nail it in, it looks great. Got some Edward Scissorhands back there. I think this is art figures or something. This is, again, another third party, but this is the best. They did a rooted version. It came out okay. Looks pretty good. They did the sculpted one much earlier than that. Yeah, man, this is the best Edward Scissorhands you find, other than a custom or something. But it came out very good. I mean, I feel like it's a very fragile figure. Like, you got to be careful with it, but it looks great. The details are on point. It looks good to me. You can move the scissor fingers. They're articulated. I think there's one or two that are like in place, but for the most part they move. He's fragile. Definitely fragile, but it's a great figure. It's great sculpt. I see Johnny in that for sure. Alright, here's our first Inart. We got Paul Atreides from the new Dune. This sculpt is just beyond good. That is Timothy Chalamet, however you say his name. Just so good. Sorry, I'm kind of shaky here. I'm freeballing all this. This is all fuck it, we're doing it live. Bill O'Reilly style. Fucking thing sucks. What I'm gonna do, there's no words on it. What does that mean to play us out? If you know, you know. That's some old school. That's some old school internet stuff there, but it's hilarious. But this Dune Paul figure is just from Inart. This might be one of the most detailed. I mean, just the suit, like, it is just one of the best well-made figures I've ever seen. This thing was like an instant grail. I don't care. I mean, I don't know what the price is now. I don't know if he's all sold out and he's like, the price is skyrocketed like everything else. But if you're a Dune fan, this was just, it was a must. I know they have a sculpted one out there too. Sculpted looks pretty good. This was Inart's first global license where you were able to order straight from them. Like, just look at that. That is, wow. That's wild. It's crazy. From every angle. Doesn't matter. Every angle. You see it. Alright, we have the other Brad Pitt from the 2-pack. The Blitzway 2-pack. I feel like the other figure is a bit better. But this one's still cool. It's another iconic look. You need it. I had to have that fur coat. It was just too good. I got a pretty decent price on the 2-pack. I just couldn't pass it up. Dude, those glasses are the most fragile things in the world. I bought spares from whatever, the fishbone ones, and I broke like 3 pairs. The pair he's wearing now are broken. It's the most fragile things ever. So if you have this or you're getting it, be fucking careful. This is an Artisan Jack with the DX 15 sculpt on it. I am not convinced on the new sculpt. I think the old one's better. The new Jack was definitely worth the pickup. The Artisan, I feel like you don't necessarily have to go Artisan on this one. I don't think you're really getting that much difference. The hair that twirls in on the sides. That's going to be the wool implant hair, even on the sculpted one. So, the only thing that you're not getting is like the dreads, and the bandana will be sculpted. But honestly, don't feel this is probably the only figure that I'll say that I don't feel like the artisan is worth it. Oh, this is actually the old body too. This is the DX15 body I have him on, which is still a masterpiece. The detail on this is still a masterpiece. So all I have is just the artisan hair. Everything else is the DX15. And then that's the new sculpt. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still see Johnny in it, but I feel like the old one's better. It doesn't help that he's got cock eyes going. I kind of got him with a lazy eye, but I still think the new one's better. Or the old one's better. The new body and everything, that's all, the proportions are all much better. The tailoring's better. But I still like the old sculpt. I'm not convinced. Salacious Croc.